Hello and welcome to Philip's Kitchen. I make that territorial claim because I'm the only one in the house right at the moment. Martha and Victoria are both away at their jobs, and I'm the only human being here, although I am surrounded by our three dogs, Homer, Iggy, and Usnavi, and they may be making their presence known at any time. And if they do, that's all right, because dogs are kind of a metaphor of something that we human beings have been unable to accomplish over our long history, and that is unconditional loyalty and affection. Whether this is really what dogs are feeling, I think, is subject to debate, because I think very often they have worked out ways over millions of years of evolution to convince us to give them food, but it feels good, and I appreciate their warmth, and I appreciate their affection, and it feels good on a cold December morning here in Port Chester, New York. One of the reasons it feels good is that there is so much strife and division and hatred that we see as we look around us. Some people will say that it's the result of the recent presidential election because it was won on the basis that excuse me, many people feel that they now have a license to express their hatred, their defiance of the other, their xenophobia, their homophobia, their Islamophobia, and all sorts of other forms of hatred that prevent us from coming together, that cause us to build walls against one another, that cause us to close the door to refugees who badly need a place to live in a safe and comfortable country. The hatreds are just unbearable in our country right at the moment, and our divisions are strong, and I think it's time for those of us who believe in another way to begin to do something about it. Takes me back to when I was a young hippie, and we wore buttons that look very much like this. You can see that this is an omega. It's also the symbol for electrical resistance, and we wore it in the 60s and 70s as a sign of our resistance against the terrible divisions that we were experiencing then, the assassinations, the racism, and worst of all, the Vietnam War, which was costing thousands of American lives and tens of thousands of Vietnamese lives. And we resisted that, called for peace, and prayed that it would be a time when we could all come together. I think it's time for us to join together now, not against a presidential candidate, not against a particular leader, not against a political party, but against those who feel they have a right to despise and hate others. And I hope that we will seek opportunities to discuss ways to do this, and that we will be able to do it over the weeks to come. I certainly invite you to come back to Philip's Kitchen anytime. Perhaps the dogs will be here to join me. And if you happen to see this, please don't tell Martha and Victoria, because they think I spend all of my time at home when they're not here watching Perry Mason. Good to talk with you, and I hope to see you again soon.